In our discussion today, we are going to talk about the relative basic strength, means acidity and basicity, both the strengths will be discussed, but initially we will start with the basic strength. We have discussed it earlier also that the basicity means we can explain it in following ways. One is the ability to donate the OH minus ions, the common Arrhenius concept. One is the ability to combine with H plus ions, which is also very well known to us even before the plus 2. Another is the ability to donate the pair of electrons or the lone pairs, which we consider as the Lewis basicity. And when they donate the pair of electrons, they form the Lewis acid-base adduct, because obviously they are going to donate the electron to such a species which is already electron deficient compound. So based on these three cases, mostly we are going to see the relative basic strength in the following questions. Whenever the questions will be asked in the video, you will see first the questions will be asked, then the explanation is given. Your duty is to pause the video when just the question is asked. Stop it over there. Try to figure out the question. If you can do it, then you can check the answers obviously. And if you cannot, then also the answers are there. So first thing, to pause the video at that point of time and try to figure it out by yourself only, because the concept is somewhat known already. Another thing is, instead of asking questions separately, you can simply ask the question on the comment section of the video itself so that I can reply to it and you will get the notification as well. Let us start our today's discussion by choosing a very standard question. Here 4 options are given and the question is, we have to choose the strongest base among the following. So we are going to see that out of these 4 options, which nitrogen will have more capability of donating the lone pairs to the others. That means they can act as a better Lewis base. Let us see those. So let us see the first case for today. In the first compound that we have, in the aromatic ring there is a NH2 group present. So obviously the lone pair of nitrogen can be donated within the aromatic ring. As you can see, the electrons are being circulated within the aromatic ring. So the electrons which will not be available for donation to the others, so it is resonance stabilized. So if the electrons are not available for donation to others, the basicity will be decreased. Let us see the other options. In the option B, here also we can see one ring is present. In that ring, here you see the nitrogen. This is a nitrogen adjacent to another cyclic structure. The lone pairs can be donated on this side. You can see the electrons will be circulated and will not be available to donation to the others. Let us see the option C. In case of option C also, there is a aromatic ring and adjacent to that there is another cyclic ring, heterocyclic ring, where there is a nitrogen. But you see the situation here, it can form resonance like this on the left hand side with the ring. So electrons will be circulated within and will not be available for donation to others. But in the option D, if you see, in case of option D, see there is a ring of course, but on the right hand side, see the position of the nitrogen now. See the position of the nitrogen. It is not directly connected with the left hand side. So the electrons is not available for donation to the left hand side. So it can be donated to others. Resonance stabilization isn't there. So the electron density which is present on nitrogen is fully available for donation to others. Hence it is the strongest base. The available electrons for donation to others, the concentration of electrons will be maximum. So strongest base it will be. Next problem for today is the increasing order of pKa value. Now we need to understand what is a pKa value. That we need to understand first. We have discussed already. pKa value means it is a way of measuring the acid strength. Although here 3 bases, potential bases are given, but in case of pKa value we can say that lower the value, stronger is the acid. So it is similar to the pH, not exactly same. It is similar to the pH value. So although pKa value we have to consider, but 3 potential bases are given. So accordingly, we will find out the answer. The first option today is this one. Is obviously the NH2 group is present on aromatic ring aniline. So aniline, as we know, the electrons can be circulated within the ring, and the electrons will not be available hugely for donation. So since the electrons will be circulated, the availability for donation will be lesser. In case of option 2, let us see how it is, how the structures can be drawn. So there is a ring, then there is a nitrogen, and on this side there is a hydrogen, which is NH, and there is another ring adjacent to that nitrogen only. It's a conjugated ring. So the electrons which is present on nitrogen can be donated to this ring. As you can see, electrons will be circulated. So the electron concentration on nitrogen is decreased, will not be available for donation. And also you see over here on this ring also, see with the red color. Here also it can be circulated. That means the same electrons which is available on nitrogen can be donated to both the rings, above and below. That means the more resonating structures will be possible. Available electron for donation to others to form a Lewis acid-base adduct will be lesser. Now let us see the third option. Just make it a little bit deeper. The black color, yes. Here you see this structure. Here NH2 is present, but this is not an aromatic ring. So where the electrons will be donated? There is nowhere to be donated. So the electrons which is present is fully available for donation to others only. These electrons are fully available for donation to others only. So it is a better Lewis base compared to the previous examples. So the third option will be the strongest Lewis base. So basicity will be the largest, as I have written. It's a little bit difficult to write on these whiteboards with the help of your touch only. So try to understand. It is a strongest base having the highest pKa value. Moving on to the next one. This is our third problem for today. Here we have to find out the basicity order. You can see 3 options are given. This is 3, 2 and 1, 2 and 3. There are 4 options. We have to choose the correct basicity order. In all the cases, the NH is there here also and here also. So nitrogen is present, but adjacent to an aromatic ring. In all the cases, aromatic rings are present and carbonyl also. So let us see what could be the situation. So here we can see that adjacent to this ring, then NH is present, then followed by a C double bond O, and then there is a CH3 present. Now the lone pairs of nitrogen, as you can see, can be donated to this side where the ring is present and the electrons will be circulated. And on the other side, you see there is a carbonyl where the electron deficiency is there on carbon. So on the both sides, black and blue, the electrons can be circulated. The resonance stabilization is more, and the nitrogen will have lesser concentration of electrons available for donation to others. Now let us see the other option. Here also, alongside the ring, directly attached C double bond O group. Then there is NH, then there is CH3. So as we know that CH3 group is having plus I effect, so it can donate the electrons to the nitrogen. So nitrogen will have greater concentration of electron. Then also You see, these lone pairs of nitrogen will be donated to this side where the carbonyl is present. So C double bond N and C single bond O minus will be formed. And in the third option, see, with the aromatic ring, the NH2 is present, then there is C double bond O, then there is CH3. Now, since the nitrogen will have lone pair, it can be donated to the ring and the electrons will be circulated. So here also the electrons available for donation will not be huge because it will be donated within the ring. Now let us see. The main question is now, among these 2 and 3, which one should be stronger base? Because in both the case, the resonance stabilization is there. So if we try to analyze, we will understand that here this lone pair can go to this side. There is a plus I effect as we have discussed, but this carbonyl carbon is delta positive, delta negativity is already there. So the deficiency of electron is already there in this carbon. Whereas this electron, when it comes here, there is no such big deficiency in the ring. In the ring, there is no such big deficiency. Although the electrons definitely can circulate, and here also this can be done. But here, the tendency to take the electron by this carbonyl will be little bit greater compared to this, because the deficiency of electron is more over here. So as a result, the electrons which can be circulated into the different sections of the compound, the tendency over here will be little bit greater compared to this. The difference will not be huge, but here the difference is little bit greater. So the basicity means the ability of donating the lone pairs to others in case of 3 will be more. The basicity will be more in the case of 3. So coming back to the original problem, we have already chosen the the option 1. This is the weakest base. Out of 2 and 3 we were little confused, but we have now established that 3 will be a stronger base compared to 2. So 3 greater than 2 greater than 1, this option will be the correct one. Two similar questions are given based on the things that we have discussed. First one is the decreasing order of relative basic strength. Here you can see the C double bond NH2 and C bond NH2, that is there on every case. NH2, NO2 and Cl, these are the different kind of substituents that is present. We need to understand how do they react and what kind of effect that they will have on the aromatic ring and ultimately on the basicity. So you find it out. In the second case also, see, the heterocyclic ring is there. Nitrogen is present everywhere. So that nitrogen can donate the electrons. Along with that, in option 2, 3 and 4, NH2, CH3 and Cn, these 3 different substituents are there. So what kind of impact they will have on the basicity, that you need to understand. If you find out the answers, do write it down. Assignments, homeworks, or whatever question that is asked, just check the question, try to give the answer. If you get the answer, then also write it on the comment section. If you do not understand any part of it, that also you write it over there so that I can clarify the doubt.